the god of war. Ares was the son of Zeus, the king of the gods, and Hera, his queen. He was born with a fierce and violent nature, and he loved nothing more than war and bloodshed. He was not well liked by his parents or his fellow gods, who found him cruel and reckless. He often clashed with Athena, the goddess of wisdom and strategy, who preferred skill and justice over brute force. Ares had many lovers, but his most famous affair was with Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. She was married to Hephaestus, the god of fire and metalwork, who was lame and ugly. Hephaestus was aware of his wife's infidelity, and one day he decided to trap them in a net and expose them to the other gods. He forged a fine and invisible net and hung it over his bed, where he knew Aphrodite and Ares would meet. When they came to the bed, the net fell over them and trapped them in a shameful embrace. Hephaestus then called the other gods to witness his revenge. The gods laughed and mocked the adulterous pair, but some of them also envied Ares for his beauty and passion. Ares had many children, most of them by Aphrodite. They included the Erotes, the winged gods of love, such as Eros and Anteros, Phobos and Deimos, the twin gods of fear and terror, who accompanied him into battle, Harmonia, the goddess of harmony and concord, and Enyalius, a minor god of war. Ares was worshipped mainly in the northern regions of Greece, where war was more common and brutal. He had temples and shrines in Sparta, Thebes, Thrace, and Macedonia. His sacred animals were the dog and the vulture, and his symbols were the sword, the spear, the shield, and the helmet. He was often depicted as a handsome and muscular man, wearing armor and a helmet, and carrying a sword or a spear. He rode a chariot pulled by fire-breathing horses, and was followed by his sons Phobos and Deimos, and his sister Eris, the goddess of discord. Ares was not a very popular or respected god among the Greeks, who preferred the more civilized and cultured aspects of life. He was seen as a destructive and mindless force, who brought only pain and suffering to the world. He was also easily defeated and humiliated by other gods and mortals, who outsmarted him or overpowered him. For example, one day Ares was bored. He had not fought in a battle for a long time, and he felt restless and impatient. He looked down from Mount Olympus and saw the mortal world, full of wars and conflicts. He wanted to join the fray, to feel the thrill of combat, to hear the screams of his enemies, and to taste their blood. He decided to go to Troy, where the Greeks and the Trojans were locked in a fierce war for 10 years. He knew that his sister Athena was on the side of the Greeks, and he wanted to challenge her. He also knew that his lover Aphrodite was on the side of the Trojans, and he wanted to protect her. He put on his helmet, his shield. He arrived at the scene and saw the two armies clashing. He saw the Greek heroes such as Achilles, Ajax, and Odysseus fighting bravely. He saw the Trojan heroes such as Hector, Aeneas, and Paris defending their city. He saw the gods and goddesses such as Apollo, Hera, and Poseidon interfering in the war. He felt a surge of excitement and joined the fight. He sided with the Trojans and attacked the Greeks with fury. He killed many Greek soldiers and wounded many Greek heroes. He fought against Athena, who matched his strength and skill. He fought against Diomedes, who was aided by Athena and managed to wound him. He fought against Hercules, who had a grudge against him and threw a huge boulder at him. He fought against anyone who crossed his path, and he enjoyed every moment of it. He was so absorbed in the battle that he did not notice that Zeus, the king of the gods, was watching him from above. Zeus was angry with Ares for causing so much chaos and destruction. He did not like Ares, who was his son by Hera, and he preferred Athena, who was his daughter by Metis. He decided to put an end to Ares' rampage and to punish him for his disobedience. He hurled a thunderbolt at Ares, hitting him in the chest. Ares felt a terrible pain and fell to the ground, dropping his weapons. He let out a loud cry that echoed across the sky and the earth. He was not killed, but he was severely injured. He lay on the ground, bleeding and groaning, unable to move. Aphrodite saw him and rushed to his side. She was worried about him and tried to comfort him. She wrapped him in her cloak and lifted him up. She called for his chariot and his horses, and she took him away from the battlefield. She brought him back to Mount Olympus, where he was healed by the god of medicine, Asclepius. Ares recovered from his wound, but he did not learn his lesson. He still loved war and violence, and he still sought to join any battle he could find. He still clashed with Athena, who was his rival and his opposite. He still courted Aphrodite, who was his lover and his ally. He still angered Zeus, who was his father and his lord. He was still Ares, the god of war, and he was still hated by most of the gods and mortals alike.